Right, hope we are all good. My main kind of focus for the kind of end of the year slash start of next year was get better at talking to a camera. I feel like short form content is like it's so easy to kind of speak about something that you can just go right, okay, this is my topic, I'm speaking about that. You can kind of like plan ahead and it just feels pure. It's not easy because I still find talking to a camera in general hard, but it's easier to kind of plan ahead and think, right, okay, I'm saying this, I'm saying that, this is what I'm talking about. And it becomes almost like, right, okay, I'm going in, talking about that, and it's like almost simple, if you know what I mean. Even though thinking about it, I'm just like, oh no, this is the worst thing ever, don't do this, like, oh, what are you doing? But it's like, I think that's not the hard part that I struggle with. Me, it's just like speaking to a camera about things on my mind, or even in general, speaking about things on my mind, not even just to a camera. Like, my biggest struggle, I would say, with anything just in life in general, is definitely communication. Like, for me personally, it's like I find it hard to talk about things, not just like my feelings in general, but just everything. Like, I find it hard to speak sometimes, and I know that probably sounds pure daft. Like, what do you mean? You're just speaking. You know what I mean? And it obviously probably does sound stupid, but to me, speaking about like feelings, speaking about sort of like day to day events that have happened, it's like I find it hard to do that. Like, my brain just almost goes, oh, I don't know. Like, if somebody says to me, "Are you okay?" I'm just like, I'm fine. When in reality, I might be thinking about things. I might be kind of have things in the back of my mind, all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So I want you to kind of get used to speaking to a camera just about anything, not just about like, okay, this is how you build muscle in your chest, this is how you do this, that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? I want to start speaking about me. I want to start speaking about everything in life in general, purely because I think speaking to a camera and sort of opening up about how I feel about certain things and how I'm feeling like kind of throughout the day, it'll just help me develop like as a person, about like how to actually speak about my feelings, how to speak about like things going on in my life to certain people. Like, it's not just a case of like, right, okay, I want to get better at speaking to a camera because I want to be an influencer or I want to be a YouTuber. Like, I don't care. Like, in reality, like, that sounds great and all that kind of stuff, but I'm not pure like, right, okay, my life, I want to be an influencer or I want to be a YouTuber. Like, no, I'm doing this to better me. I wanted to get better at speaking to a camera because I want to better myself in the long term, and that's my main goal with this. Like, I wanted to start short term content or short form content, sorry, and get better at speaking to a camera. But now I'm sitting thinking, short form isn't what I struggle with. It's just doing things like this and just speaking about how I feel and how I kind of go about my day to day sort of things, you know what I mean? So that is what we're doing today. I'm going to go in the gym, I'm going to record me doing sets, all the kind of usual stuff. But at the same time, try and talk about certain things that have been kind of on my mind and things that I'm actually like thinking about sort of day to day, because I feel like not only will it help me develop as a person, but it might reach somebody that kind of deals with the same issues or thinks the same things, and they also kind of learn from it or like go, oh, somebody else kind of feels the same way as I do, or all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, if I can help somebody by trying to develop myself, then it's a win-win in it. So, aye, here we go. Into the gym, get some sets done, get some chatting, and then go from there. So first off, I feel like speaking in the car was a lot easier than speaking in the gym. Just kind of like naturally, like, I've went to kind of have my sort of short form content like planned out, and it's like it's so different in it. You just kind of you have a topic you're speaking about and you just say it and it's done. But like speaking to a camera about your kind of like your life in general, just kind of how you're feeling, it's like so different. You've not got a script or anything. You're just kind of saying how you feel, what you want to say. You know what I mean? But I feel like recently a lot of things I've been seeing on like your Instagram, TikTok, all that kind of stuff, like all the kind of content in terms of like gym, the sort of gym space, there's not a lot of like mega positive content out there. And I'm not saying it's like bodybuilding and like the gym in general is a pure dark space, because it's not at all. It's a very, very positive thing. But everyone kind of has this whole correlation of like the gym, people post on like TikTok, Instagram, these pure like sad reels with like sad sounds, all that kind of stuff. And it's almost as if like you're kind of influenced to go to the gym because of like heartbreak or something in your life's happened that's bad, and it's like a pure kind of escape from your emotions, which to To be fair, I think a lot of people start the gym due to that, like due to kind of feeling a certain way in a negative way, like a sort of negative emotion, whether it be heartbreak or like the loss of someone in your family or whatever it may be. It's never a kind of like, oh, I'm going to go to the gym because I'm happy today. Like you don't wake up and start the gym because you're just happy. Like, oh, I'm pure buzzing to go to the gym today. Like it's not a pure like, it's not a natural thing. I feel like people are trying to kind of portray on like Instagram and TikTok and all that kind of stuff when it should be a thing you want to kind of go to because you're like, okay, I want to change the way I look, I want to change the way I feel, and it's a very, very positive thing. But you see a lot in like TikTok and Instagram, all these sad sounds and all that kind of stuff. It's like everyone's going for the reason of like, oh, my girlfriend broke up with me, I'm in like the pure depths of absolute doom and darkness and all that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? But it shouldn't be like that. It should be a really positive place, like coming to the gym to improve yourself every day, whether it be just to go to the gym in general, whether it be bodybuilding, powerlifting, whatever it may be. It should be a very positive space, and I feel like sometimes it's just not portrayed in that way. And don't get me wrong, like, if you're in like a pure like negative space of mind, going to the gym is going to help that, but at the same time you shouldn't use the gym to like almost escape those emotions and sort of just like push them down. Like I think personally that's what I've done in the past, and that's why I find it so hard to speak about how I feel about things. It's like when I went through a pure tough time in the past, it's like I've just thought, you know what, I'm going to the gym to just kind of suppress all that emotion and sort of use that emotion in the gym, which also, don't get me wrong, is a good thing to use that emotion for something positive, but you should also kind of just sit and sort of process those feelings rather than just thinking, you know what, I'm going to go to the gym and sort of use that hour or 2 hours to kind of just neglect all your emotions. Like it should be a place you go to use those emotions, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, you do need to kind of just process how you're feeling at times. And to me, that's what I find the sort of hardest thing, is rather than just using the gym to sort of like push all those emotions down, I need to go, do you know what? Yeah, I can go to the gym and use those emotions, that's cool, but when I come back into the house, I need to go, do you know what? I need to sit with these feelings and sort of process them rather than just consistently pushing them away, so to speak. And something that people don't actually use enough when it comes to like the kind of the gym and just like emotions as a whole, is definitely your music choice. Now, I'm not saying you need to go into the gym and pure think like, let's put on some hardcore rock or like pure depressing tunes. Like it can be literally anything. That's the thing about it. Like, on you go, mate, it's alright. It's all good. That's the kind of thing about it. It's like everyone thinks you need in this pure like dark headspace to like you see all these pure, like, as I said, like gym TikToks and gym reels, all that kind of stuff, and it's like pure hardcore rock or like depressing tunes, and it's like all really emotional, which it should be like song choice and that. It should be a kind of thing that actually gets you hyped for a set, but that's different for everyone. Like it could be a sad, emotional song, it could be a pure hardcore rock song, or it could be I don't know, anything. It could be some sort of like girl band or boy band or like pop, whatever it is. It could be anything. And this is where I think the whole negative thing comes into it. Everyone kind of thinks like the gym space is this pure like sad, depressing, or like hardcore space. And it doesn't have to be that way. Like I train, I would say, pretty intense for like, I'm not saying I'm not an average gym goer because I'm trying to compete and be on stage or this kind of stuff. Like I'm not just kind of an average guy who goes to the gym. You know what I mean? Like I've kind of got a set out goal of in future I want to be on stage and I want to compete and all this kind of stuff. It's like it's different in that aspect, but at the same time you can go to the gym and as long as you're getting hyped for your set, you can play any music you want. It doesn't need to be all this depression and dark stuff. It could be anything. Like me personally, I'm mega big into like 70s and 80s, like old rock music. And it's not always like pure hardcore. You know what I mean? I listen to like Bon Jovi, like it's not exactly hardcore. I listen to Billy Joel or Billy Idol, all that kind of stuff, man. Like, it's not a pure like dark space, you know what I mean? Like I'll go into my sets, I'll show you this set just now. I'll go into a set and I'll put on like 70s, 80s, like pure, to me, hype music, you know what I mean? But to the next person, it could be like Lana Del Rey, or it could be Adele to get them hyped for the set, so to speak. But in reality, it can just be anything that gets your emotions going. Like, you might listen to, I don't know, the Shrek soundtrack and get pure hyped up, you know what I mean? It could be literally anything. Which I just kind of think this whole like negative space in the gym, like it's, if you see that and you're sitting thinking that, okay, I want to get into the gym to better myself, but I'm seeing all these like gym reels about how it's such a pure like, that song's depressing or that song's pure hardcore, like, I don't want to be that intense, like you don't need to be that way to get into the gym. Like you can literally listen to any music you want as long as you're training relatively hard, it's fine. But nobody really uses music to their advantage. Like you're going to the gym, and if you've got all these emotions that you've basically been keeping inside and not essentially using, if you want to actually put them to good use, if you pick a song that sort of heightens those emotions, as long as you can control it. I'm not saying pick a song that makes you want to cry, then go into your set crying. Like, it's probably not going to be beneficial. But if you basically pick something that sort of heightens the emotions that you're feeling to a sort of capacity you can actually control, you can then get major benefit from those actual emotions during your set. Like I go into a set locked in, I've got the song on that I enjoy, it gets me hyped up. It might not be a sad song, might not be a hardcore song, but if I'm feeling happy that day, I'll pick something that makes me happy. If I'm feeling a little bit down that day, I'll pick something a bit more sort of emotional, you know what I mean? Anything that kind of heightens the emotion that you're feeling, you can basically use in your sets, which is what I think anyway. As I was saying about kind of like just not being able to speak about things, my kind of emotions in general, I feel like the gym itself has definitely helped that. Like, not helped me speak, so to speak, but like it's helped me kind of like process with emotions when I couldn't speak about it, if that makes sense. Like, I went through times I've been like feeling probably pretty shit or like not feeling amazing. And it's like when you go to the gym, you kind of got that sort of escape from everything. It's like you need to come to the gym and like speak to folk about how you're feeling. You just come to the gym, might see people you know, like you might see your pals at the gym, or you might just kind of meet new folk at the gym and speak to them, but you're not actually speaking about how you feel. But I feel like when you're in the gym and you're working, or like working out, whatever you want to say, when you're working out and actually like going through your sets, you can basically kind of like channel that emotion to the set. And I feel like that has definitely helped me a lot. But I've kind of came to this sort of realization now where it's like all I've been doing for the past like 2, 3, maybe 4 years is sort of feeling things, and rather than like speaking about it and getting out there, all I basically go to do is like, okay, I'll go to the gym, I'll sort of suppress it and channel it and use that emotion in the gym, which, don't get me wrong, it's probably helped me a lot in terms of like my actual physique progression and that kind of my mindset towards training in the gym, like training intensity, like the weight that I've moved in the gym, like my overall progression in terms of like actually building my physique. Because realistically, it's nothing like crazy special just now, but compared to what it was like a year ago or like 2 years ago, it's definitely improved.
And I would say, like, not speaking about things, although that sounds so daft, like, oh, you're not speaking about your emotions, Eden, do you not feel pure down and sad? Like, although that I've not spoke about it, I've still used that emotion and still channeled that emotion in the gym. But I want people to realise that from someone that's done it for like 2, 3, 4 years, like using that emotion and channel it into your like actual training sessions, yes, it will help you in the gym in terms of like actually progressing, moving heavier loads, getting more reps, training intensely, all the things that sound positive in terms of inside the gym and in terms of building your physique. But when it comes to a mental point of like, are you actually feeling happier because you're using that emotion in the gym rather than speaking about it? No, it definitely doesn't help in that aspect. You don't feel better for using it in the gym than you would possibly speaking to someone and sort of airing those thoughts. Because recently that's something that I have been doing. I've been like airing how I feel and like speaking out rather than just keeping it in and using it in here. I'm actually using that emotion. I'm like speaking about how I'm feeling. And I think that comparing that to the sort of like emotion used in the gym, it's night and day, man. Like you can speak to anyone. And I feel like that's something that I spoke about a podcast. I don't even know if I mentioned it like in the last clip there, but I've been watching a podcast recently, Modern Wisdom by Chris Williamson. And he's got an episode with Alison Armstrong, who's like mega studies on everything to do with like men in general. And it might sound daft, like, oh, studies men, what do you mean? Like, he's got such great views on how like men perceive things, like what men need in life and what they're kind of like, what they need to sort of like feel happy and feel like seen, so to speak. I won't quote anything because I'm not that good at like remembering like quotes of what she said and all that kind of stuff. But her whole thing is about like what men basically need to feel seen and to feel like effective, and they want to feel like respected, but also have something to sort of like protect, so to speak. That's a kind of like a purpose, pretty much, to kind of be respected and also be protective, or being, what's the word? Be protecting something. You know what I mean? But basically, kind of like having that purpose, having that sort of drive to like actually do something. Like you can have this sort of one thing that men basically drive towards and sort of like actually focus on. I feel like if your thing is the gym and you're using the emotions in the gym, you basically put all your eggs in one basket, and rather than going, okay, I'll go to the gym, I'll use some emotion there, and I'll come out of the gym and I'll speak to somebody about how I'm feeling as well. We just go like, nah, I'm going to the gym. I'm using all my emotion in the gym. I'm channeling everything that I've got into the gym. And when you leave, you don't speak about it to anyone. And that's what I've been doing for the past like 3, 4 years. And I feel like it's also stopped me doing this. I haven't spoke to a camera. I haven't really done much like sort of Instagram or like YouTube stuff or anything like that at all, because I feel like all my emotion is went into just training and not actually speaking, if that makes sense. So my whole sort of like main goal now is to open up and start like actually speaking about how I'm feeling. And I feel like actually speaking to a camera is going to help me actually develop and sort of do that in the long term. And I used to feel so uncomfortable speaking to a camera, but now like doing this for the past like 10, 15 minutes, just speaking in this session alone, I already feel better speaking to a camera. Like I went from doing short form content and being like scared to speak to a camera to like, you know what, let's just sit down and let's just talk to a camera, and whatever comes out comes out. And I feel like that is definitely helping me in the long term. And although I find speaking to a camera like incredibly hard at times, I've kind of thought to myself, like, what is genuinely the point in me sitting thinking, oh, I shouldn't do that, or like I can't do that because I'm too nervous to do that. Like I think I've been holding emotions in for that long that I kind of just like put myself off doing certain things, and it's like rather than just going, you know what, I'm going to be uncomfortable doing this for the first few times. I'm going to be uncomfortable doing this or that. Like rather than pushing myself outside that comfort zone, I've just went, you know what, I'm going to just stay comfortable. I'm going to just keep doing what I usually do, like go to the gym, channel my emotions into my sets, all that kind of stuff. Rather than just going, you know what, let's just try something new. Let's like get outside that comfort zone. I feel like that's all I've been doing. Is sort of like trapping my emotions in and like stopping myself from taking that sort of step outside into something uncomfortable, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's so important. Like when you're feeling like down, or you're feeling sad or whatever it may be, like rather than just distracting yourself every time, just sit and feel it. Like rather than just going, right, okay, what can I do to like take my mind off this? Or like I'll go to the gym and just put my emotions into the gym and I won't even think about it. Like rather than doing that, literally just sit and go, do you know what? I'm gonna just sit, I'm gonna feel it for like 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, and then go, do you know what, right, okay, that felt good, and then go on with your day. But I feel like having the whole camera to speak to, it's been so hard and a pure like pressure on myself. Like, oh no, I can't do that. That's absolutely terrifying. I shouldn't do that. You know what I mean? Just going, do you know what? Who cares? Nobody else cares. So why should I sit and care? Like, that goes for anything. Not even just like speaking to a camera. That could be like going to the gym for the first time, or like trying a new gym for the first time. Like not even anything gym related, just anything in general. My life is just the gym at this point, so it's like another relate everything to the gym, you know what I mean? But like anything in general, if you're kind of worried to try it or you're scared to try it, like at the end of the day, nobody's going to care. Like say for example, you go to the gym, right, or you're a pure hardcore guy that goes to the gym. Everyone goes, oh, that's that guy that goes to the gym. He's pure like heavy metal, heavy like pure dial into the gym. If you go, oh, I want to try like pottery, I want to try painting, something that wouldn't like relate anywhere near to a hardcore gym guy, and you think, oh no, they think I'm the pure hardcore gym guy, so I can't do that because that's like that doesn't match my sort of persona or that kind of stuff. Like nobody's caring. Like you might think it seems so bad and it seems so terrifying, but at the end of the day, nobody actually cares. Like for me to speak to the camera, like I rarely, or I've spoke to the camera like 2 or 3 times in my life, like in terms of like actually speaking to a camera. I've done it before, but I was never like confident in doing it, if that makes sense. I was never the guy that would like grab the camera or like grab my phone and just start speaking. Like, I could never do that. I didn't have the confidence to do that. And I kind of like got that in my own head, sitting thinking, oh, I'm not that guy. Like, I know I'm not that guy. Like, I can't sit and speak to a camera. I'm not that confident. But then I'm just like, you know what? Like, I can be that guy if I want to be that guy. I can sit and speak to a camera. I can go try new things. I can do things myself. Like, people need to realise that. You don't need to be like so channeled to one thing. And I think when it comes to the gym, everyone thinks, right, okay, I'm now like live or die the gym. Like my whole life is going to the gym, all my emotions going to the gym, and like everything else gets sort of pushed to the side. Like your feelings, your other hobbies, seeing friends, seeing family, spending time with friends and family, all that kind of stuff gets pushed to the side to a point where it's like you shouldn't need to do that to like love the gym. And I feel like that's personally what I've done to a certain extent. Like I've got so deep into like, right, okay, all my emotions are in the gym. That's where everything's going. That when I leave the gym, I've not got like the social battery, so to speak, or like the energy to like put it elsewhere. And that's something that I'm working hard on now to change because it's not. At the end of the day, the gym isn't like my life. Like I've got a life outside the gym, and it's hard as that might be for me to like sort of open up and say. It's like it's just true. I've got family, I've got friends, I've got all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? I need to spend time focusing more so on that. So I feel like speaking to a camera and like speaking about my emotions to a camera, it kind of holds me accountable to that fact. That I can't just go, oh, that's not happening right now. But if I speak to a camera, I'm just honest about how I'm feeling. I can just sort of like accept it. I watch it back and just go, oh, fuck man, like that's actually happening right now. I'm saying how I feel. And that's something that I've always struggled with, is just saying how I feel. just realised that mic wasn't on the entire time, so I was like speaking whilst I was posing, but nothing was obviously getting picked up. But overall, I'm feeling pretty good. As I said, my main kind of thing now was just like speaking to a camera, but I'm glad that I've came in, had a pure good session, and like actually done something that used to terrify me. Like speaking to a camera before, I used to be so scary. Like the thought of coming into a gym and speaking to a camera, like nah, that was never going to happen. But like now, I'm just like, you know what, there's no point in being so scared of these things that you used to be scared of. Like my main goal is to like develop as a person and grow as a person. So if by me speaking to the camera and like developing myself and growing within myself helps somebody else, so I realised, you know what, I used to be absolutely terrified of doing that one thing, but now I can go and do it and not be scared of doing it, like I'm doing just now. I used to be absolutely terrified of speaking to a camera, and if like somebody else can see this and go, do you know what, there's no point being scared. Like realistically, nobody cares what you're doing. You shouldn't care what people think. And I used to be so deep in thought about, oh, what if they think this? What if they think that? And I'm just like, you know what? I'm doing it for myself. Like, I'm speaking to a camera and I'm like developing within myself. Like, who cares what anybody else thinks? I'm just like, you know what? This is for me, and it's to grow me as a person. So if somebody else sees this and goes, you know what, he's done it, why can't I? Then that's good enough for me. That's more than a win for me. But in the long term, my goal is just keep developing as a person, speaking to the camera, doing things that I'm like, I used to be scared of doing, like speaking to a camera outside with nobody around used to scare me. Speaking to a camera in an empty house used to absolutely terrify me. Never mind walking into a gym and going, do you know what, there's hundreds of folk here, I'm going to speak to a camera. Like that was never something that I thought I could do. And I think I finally kind of overcame that sort of like negative thought on that. Like, do you know what? It's not a bad thing to do. Nobody's looking at you, nobody's caring what you're doing, so do what you want, you know what I mean? So if anybody sees it and goes, do you know what? He's done it, he used to be terrified of doing it, I'm going to go do this because I used to be scared of doing this, but do you know what? I'm going to do it anyway. If that happens, then overall it's a win-win for me. I'm developing, I'm growing as a person, and I'm also helping people along the way to actually do the same thing. So that's my kind of whole gist and point of this like page, so to speak now. I'm going to try and do some more like actual vlogging, speaking to the camera and being more kind of me rather than just like short form statistical kind of content, you know what I mean? It's more just like me speaking to a camera about me, how I want to grow, how I want to develop, and how that hopefully helps somebody else along the way. But as I said, overall, a very good session, feeling pretty good. Overall, feeling like a different version of me. I used to be like 101.5 kilos or something, and I was just like no shape whatsoever, like peak bulk. I had like no delt definition, no ab definition, no veins or anything. It was just like flab, pretty much, to be honest. So now I'm just kind of like, do you know what, I'm in a pretty good spot, 89.2. I've never looked like this at 89.2 kilos, so I'm pretty chuffed with that. We've got prep in roughly 3-4 weeks now, starts in 3-4 weeks, so pretty scary time coming up, but at the same time, I'm really excited. I'm like, you know what, it's something that I've like always wanted to do, well, for the past like 2 years or so anyway. And it's like, do you know what, now's my actual chance to go, do you know what, I'm applying myself fully. I can document it all, so to speak, and actually speak to a camera without being scared of doing it, and like get on stage in future without being so nervous and so anxious about things, you know what I mean? So, aye, that's my main goal. Get confident in front of a camera, so when it comes to stage, etc., I'll have a lot more confidence than I do. Not pure like cocky confidence, you know what I mean? But like at least I'm not pure anxious and nervous about stuff. But aye, that's my main thing. Get on stage, be relatively confident, speak to a camera whilst being confident, and of course bring the best physique and package as possible.